lights on the screen, hey, it's Grant and Ryan. We bleed purple, talking hoops, never lying. Sacramento Kings, we rise and we fall. If you don't like that, then you don't know ball. Jerry sitting with the stories of the game, spilling all the truth, driving legends insane. From the Cow Palace days to Arco's roar, this town's heart beats on the hardwood floor. If you don't like that, turn away now. Kings in our blood, we rise strong and proud. Running up the score, Kings never back down. If you don't like that, this ain't your town.
What a pathetic performance by the Kings tonight in terms of shooting the basketball. Just pathetic. 3 of 26 from beyond the arc is one stat that jumps right out you. De'Aaron Fox tonight played 36 minutes. He turned the ball over 7 times and did not have an assist. Now, in all fairness, you can't have an assist if you pass it to somebody and they missed a shot. But that's not a good stat line at all. 7 turnovers, no assists. But Ryno, I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen the team shoot worse than they did tonight.
They got close to the Knicks record that dates back to 2020. If they would have had 30 attempts, it's 8%, 8.6%. But yeah, Grant, the turnovers, that's what I want to hit on. You're exactly right. This isn't a one-game thing. This is something we have seen in this small sample size season. It's been averaging right around 4 turnovers tonight. And Grant, to your point, you got to make shots. They were 47.4% from the field. It's not like they shot the ball bad overall.
So then stop shooting so many threes. Keegan Murray was awful tonight. Absolutely horrible. I mean, what the hell is going on with him? He has no consistency in his offense at all. It's unbelievable. You know, some nights you look, wow, okay, shooting the ball well. And then tonight, 2 of 10 and 0 of 6 from 3. It's very puzzling to me.
Yeah, you know, at the start of the games, it's almost automatic now. Mike Brown runs a play to get Kevin Huerter going. Double down string comes off the top, usually gets a wide open 3. I think coach has got to start mixing some of those in for Keegan, because if it's open for Kevin all game, you got to get Keegan some touches. But granted, it wasn't just him missing wide open 3s. It was De'Aaron, it was Domas, it was Monk, it was Trey Lyles. He had a couple of them. It's a problem that dates back to the preseason, Napes.
And the other problem is everyone pretty much won ahead of them with the exception of Dallas tonight. So they lose a game on the field for the most part. And, you know, Denver won, Minnesota won, Phoenix won, the Lakers won. You know, you're at home. You know, when are the Kings going to start playing good basketball at home? You know, we talk about this for the last couple of years, well, ever since the Golden One Center opened.
Yeah.
It's just not a home court advantage for them. And, you know, another home loss. I know they've only had 3 home games, but I mean, it's puzzling to me.
They've got to do better. It's like they don't get out and run the same way at home at times. Grant, we got to give the
4 home games. They're 2-2 at home. I beg your pardon. This was the 4th home game. 2-2, Ryan. You can't be 500 at home, buddy.
No, you got to be much better than that. They got to get out and run more, Grant. Only 7 fast break points tonight.
Yep.
We have to give credit to the Clippers. The Clippers played really good defense, and in their lapses, the Kings couldn't make it pay for them.
And once again, the bench, I'm sorry, the bench is terrible.
Awful.
It's terrible. I mean, Malik Monk shot the ball pretty well tonight. He had 17 points, but the bench is terrible. And I'm sorry, I keep saying this, and I'm going to keep saying this. You can't just hope that it's going to get better. Monte McNair needs to get creative here and get a trade or something that's going to solidify this bench. Because when you start playing the Phoenixes of the world twice next week, Minnesota, Oklahoma City, I can go on and on. You're not going to win. You're not going to win with the bench being unproductive. Trey Lyles doesn't even look like he's capable of playing anymore, does he? And I know Mike Brown.
Yeah, I'm not
showing a lot. He's not showing a lot of confidence in him.
Well, yeah, he went to Alex Len. I think part of that was the matchup with Zubac tonight. But Trey Lyles, part of it's on him, Grant. He's got to get himself going offensively. Take the ball to the damn hoop, even if you have the wide open 3. It makes a difference when you see the ball go through the net. It just does.
Somebody made a good point. Malik Monk, you know, he got all of his baskets on layups and mid-range shots. You know, there's no rule that says you have to shoot 3s all the time. There's no rule. I'm a firm believer in this. I think if you're a good shooter, you keep shooting the ball. I've always believed that. If you're a good shooter, keep shooting the ball. If you're an inconsistent shooter and the 3's not falling early, then I don't think you should keep shooting it. You know, like Keegan Murray to me is an inconsistent 3-point shooter. I'm sorry. I just believe he is. 0 of 6 for that guy. It drives me freaking crazy. Do something else, and I'm
Get
not
it.
blaming the loss on him. I'm not. It's not his fault. This was a collective team effort, was it not, Ryan? It was the whole team tonight.
It was. And Grant, it's confusing because this team, we laid out the free throw shooting much better this year, right? But you look at them, they're second in the NBA in 2-point percentage, Grant.
Yeah.
Second in the NBA, fourth in the NBA in 2-point attempts or made 2-pointers. So you've got the building blocks. This just goes back to the 3-pointer. When can they get one to fall? How can they get it to go?
Well, I'm looking at the big picture. And the big picture is that I thought the first 10 games of the season, really 9, actually it was 9, was critical to the success of this team.
Yes.
Because I felt that the first 9 games, relatively speaking, were one of the easiest stretches of the year. And now they're done with that, and they're 5-4, and you're playing the hottest team in the NBA twice in a span of a week. Okay?
Yep.
Think about that for a minute. And now all of a sudden, you're 10th. Well, shouldn't say you're 10th, but here are the teams that have 5-4 records right now: the Rockets, the Clippers, the Mavericks, and the Kings. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So you got Phoenix that's 8-1, Oklahoma City's 8-1, Golden State is 7-2, Minnesota is 6-3, Denver is 6-3, and how about Memphis? They're 6-4.
Yep.
You start losing home games like this, Ryan, I'm sorry, you're going to be once again in the same position you were in last year, fighting for a 6th spot, trying to avoid the play-in tournament because you don't want any part in the play-in tournament. The Kings found that out last year.
Yeah, Grant, you will be. Here's the difference that I see so far through the short sample size that we have this season. The foundation in which this team is built on, to me, is much more solid. You look at them 6th in the NBA in offensive rating, 11th in the NBA in defensive rating. The defense has not been terrible. It's been spotty when they do the trapping. We've talked about the free throws. We talked about the 2-point percentage. The bench is thin. I've got to think, Grant, if it's the 3 ball that's holding this team up, I'm okay with that, because I think that 3 is going to start falling in certain games. The things that I said before, those are the mainstays of teams that play into the spring.
All right. Again, if you want to give us a call, feel free to do so. You've got the link. You got the QR code. I'll put it up for you right here on the screen. Is this the no, that was.
It is not. It's in the chat. That one's not updated.
My bad. All right.
No
We got the QR code above us. We would love to hear from you. Ryan, I don't know what I don't have any positives from tonight. Do you have any positives tonight? Because I'm trying to find one. I really don't have one. Maybe free throw shooting?
Yeah, free throw shooting. Malik Monk's aggressiveness. I really liked that. That was the only reason this team had a little bit of pace and a little bit of a chance at the end in the 4th quarter. But other than that, it is really tough to point to much. Let's go to J. Cal. You're welcome. You're on with Grant and Ryno. Welcome in.
Hey, guys. That was a tough game to watch. Yeah, Grant, you've been talking about it all week long. The bench is terrible. Besides Malik Monk, the starters can be playing almost 40 minutes a night, and it's still early in the season. The bench really does need some help. And I mean, and then
you got DeMar DeRozan played 40 minutes tonight. Murray played 39. Fox played 38. Sabonis played 38. And after every game, all I hear about is Mike Brown talking about he's got to limit the minutes. He can't play the guys this many minutes. Well, I'm sorry. You're playing the guys this many minutes, and it's going to bite you in the ass here pretty soon. It just is.
It's still it's early in the season. These guys are not going to last if they keep playing 40 minutes every single game.
Well,
the bench really does need help.
Guys, when you're running a 9-man rotation, you can't have one of those guys only playing 7 minutes. You have to count on that person to play decent and play at least 14, 15, 60 minutes. Trey Lyles, 7 minutes tonight, J. Cal.
That's crazy. And it didn't do nothing. It's ridiculous. But you guys see that Cavs game, the Warriors? My goodness.
Cavs are good, boy.
They are. Well, the schedule doesn't get easier, guys, so we'll see what happens. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, you got Phoenix, and then the next night at San Antonio. That's not going to be an easy game. Then you have a day off, and you come home and play Phoenix, and then you play Minnesota.
Yeah, and Phoenix, bring your lunch pail on defense. They are moving the ball so well. Devin Booker, 12 assists tonight. Tyus Jones.
You do get Phoenix on the second night of a back-to-back when they're in Sacramento. So, hopefully that will help. But the way the Kings are playing right now at home, I don't have any confidence. I didn't have any confidence with this team at home last year. I don't have any confidence in this team at home this year. I know it's a very small sample size with 4 games, but I'm sorry, I don't.
Yeah, I'm not ready to go there yet, but I understand the reasoning behind that. Let's bring Jay into the conversation. Welcome in tonight, Jay.
How you guys doing today?
Hey, Jay.
Well, man, you guys sound like me. Very, very frustrated. And I want to ask you before I get into my take. Like you said, Ryno, you can't play a guy off the bench 7 minutes. And you said, Grant, it's going to bite you in the ass sooner or later, pretty much. Who do you point the finger at? Because in my opinion, you're going to have to end up pointing that at Monty. You know, at some point, you're going to have to. I mean, he's playing his starters for a reason. He doesn't want to play his starters 40 minutes. But if he's saying these guys aren't producing anything offensively, defensively, and I'm not saying they haven't produced at all, you know, but you got to score in this game. So who do you point the finger at? Do you point it at the coach? Do you point it at Monty?
It's a little too early in the season to start pointing fingers at the general manager or the coach, in my opinion. I think once you get into January, if we're still having the same conversation, I will tell you this right now. If the Kings don't make the playoffs here, Shermani McNair will not be the general manager of the team next year. Vivek will fire him.
Ryno, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, we got to wait, but I think you also do have to look at the draft pick of Devin Carter, and he might turn out to be a great player, but if you knew your bench might be this thin, you can't take the liberty. I think there needs to be a stronger consideration there, especially trading Davion away, about waiting on a player, because you have how many scorers, Grant, coming off this bench? We can say Malik is a legit scorer.
And yet you bypassed on Dalton Connect of the Lakers.
Exactly.
Okay, and that's exactly what you needed. And you drafted a player that was hurt. Was hurt more severely than you thought, but you still knew he had a shoulder injury.
Right.
And at your workout, he got hurt at the Kings workout, so you knew that.
I don't know what workout he got hurt.
Yeah,
in.
I don't know.
It was
either.
the Kings. He got hurt at the Kings. Well, he hurt it. It was a lingering injury, and then at the Kings.
Okay. The bottom line is they knew that he had a shoulder injury. They didn't realize what magnitude, so they gambled on that. And as Ryan said, maybe Devin Carter ends up being a really good player for the Kings, and this will be a moot conversation down the road. But right now, there's a void on this team. I mean, you saw Davion Mitchell play twice in the last week. You think the Kings could use Davion Mitchell right now?
Yeah,
I sure as hell do.
And Grant,
Absolutely.
you just said the word. It's right now. You bring in DeMar. Like, this was a right now team. This is when you needed to kick the window open, kick the door open for a championship or a run window. Sorry, Jay, don't say that word. But, you know, you can't wait anymore. This team's been together for now going on 3 years, and now we hear waiting on a player and to see how it works out. So you could have a Devin Carter that's great, but what if the window closes on this team? So Jay, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we could go on about that too. But tonight, you know, if I'm looking for a shooter. I'm not saying you're going to see a trade next month in December, but as Grant said, in January, February, when you're looking at around that trade deadline, like you said, the money might be in the hot seat if we continue to shoot like this. And this might just be one of those nights where it's, you know, a fluke night. But I mean, 3 for 26, right? That was the stat.
Yeah. And by the way, I don't want to put Dalton Connect on Mount Rushmore just yet. He's a rookie and he's had bad games to go along with some good games. And he's not like lighting the world on fire, but I think he would fit in perfectly with what the Kings needed. But moot point, I guess he's down in LA. I've said this and I'm going to keep saying it to both of you and to the audience here. And I'm not changing. I don't put too much emphasis on one game, whether it's a win or a loss. I need 20 to 25 games to fully analyze this team. I can't do it yet. It's not a big enough sample size. I need another 10 games at least before I can look at this team and go, I think I know for sure what they are. I still don't know yet.
No, I agree with that statement for sure. You know, you'll start to see who kind of folds, because people have only played 9 games. There's still 21 other teams out there. So that's when you kind of get a feel for, okay, these guys have been on the road. They've played different teams in different environments. You'll get to see who that team is really made of or what that team is really made of. But, man, I turned the game off with, I think, 2 minutes left in the third quarter. And because I was looking at the stats, and I hate looking at stats because it pisses me off during the game. But DeRozan has 11 points with 2 minutes left in the third quarter. I love DeRozan. He's phenomenal for this team. That's unacceptable. and you have to
But
be
he's
willing
not
to
going
have
to
to.
be. The greatest players in the game have off nights. He's allowed to have an off
Oh,
night. He's human.
absolutely, he is. I just hope, and it sounds like they are doing it in the locker room, that they're holding each other accountable, and that means everybody. I don't care if you're DeMar DeRozan, Michael Jordan. I hope they're doing that. It sounds like it, but those are the conversations that they have to be willing to have as a team to get through these hard nights. And I was glad to see they did come back on a short little run at the end. That was great because, people are leaving the arena. There's no one in there.
No, of course not. Why would you stay? And what does this say about Doug McDermott? Think about this. The Kings have one of the worst three-point shooting games ever.
And
a guy that you acquired a couple of weeks ago, because he is such a good three-point shooter, can't even get into the game because Mike Brown has no confidence in him. What does that tell you?
Grant, I'm going to go the other way. I don't think it was a confidence thing. It would have been a nightmare defensively having Doug on the floor. You saw it was difficult with Kevin. I don't know who you put Doug on. It just doesn't
Doug
work.
can't play defense.
That's it.
Doug can't play defense against a high school team. He couldn't guard his shadow. So, like you knew when you got Doug McDermott, you knew what you were getting. You knew you were getting a guy that can flat out score when he's open, but is a defensive liability. That's why he was available and not on anybody's roster a week before the season. That's why he's been on so many different teams. Yes, he can shoot, but you know what? Half the game is played on the other side of the floor, and he's a liability on that side of the floor.
And it's funny you bring up high school teams because honestly, I probably can shoot 3 for 26 if they signed me right now. That's how I was shooting in high school. They looked like a high school team with the way they shot the ball. Besides the field goal, they did phenomenal, and the pull-up game, slashing to the rim. But like you said, you can't put Doug in the game. And I was contemplating, does Mike put Doug in the game when you're, let's say, 6-7 minutes into the fourth quarter? Because at this point, it's like you're going to have to shoot the ball. You have to shoot, and you can't keep driving to the rim. You cannot keep getting twos. You got to shoot. And so do you kind of put him in?
They went on a 12-2 or the 14-2 run.
Yeah, they did. That's what I was saying. That was before that. I was kind of like, I mean, what do you do here? Do you pull your starters out? It was an ugly game. It was a rough night for all Kings.
Well, I know one thing. You're going to have to score 125
against the Suns.
Against Phoenix to win the game. You're going to have to put at least 125 on the board.
And hopefully this loss right here kind of gives them a little momentum for the next game because it kind of, they're not going to continue to shoot like this forever. So hopefully they're like, yo, we played like hot garbage today. Let's bring some energy. This is going to be a tough road trip. We got to at least break even. Hopefully, if we could get Phoenix, I know we can get San Antonio. So
I wouldn't be so sure of that on a second night of a back-to-back. San Antonio is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
I forgot it was back-to-back.
Yeah.
I mean, the bottom line is this, and Grant said it, we need to wait to make a judgment on this team, but through the schedule, they are 27th in the NBA at shooting the three ball.
I'm surprised they're not worse. I'm honestly surprised they're not worse because you had Fox shooting 0 for 12, 2 nights ago or 2 games ago?
0 for 11. Yeah.
0 for 11. I mean,
yeah. Jay, thank you, buddy.
It's tough. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. Hey, don't forget, I am looking for rant ideas, a rant with Grant coming up in a little bit. Give me your rant ideas on the chat line, and I'll give one for you. A rant with Grant coming up in a little bit.
Yes, indeed. Let's kick it overseas. We bring in Baki. Baki, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm fine. How are you?
Hey, Baki. Good.
Should I ask?
I'm fine. What can we do for you, buddy?
Yeah.
Okay, dobro jutro. So, first thing I talked about a week ago. You're a better team with your new player, of course, and starting 5 is okay. But if DeRozan will have too many of those off nights, we will not win the games. The only way to stay in the game or to solve the game in time is DeRozan lead this team, but from the beginning. This first half, 5 or 6 or 7 points, like in few games from him, is not going to do it. Trust me on this. He was cold tonight as winter in Serbia. The bench, okay, you said it's bad. I agree. But if you see your team is on the pain, put that guy who's on great energy. And I think on Malik Monk. The guy's hot even when he was in the slow start. Other starters, slow start, they can't wake up. So, I don't know. the last thing I will mention here, even though I can talk about this game till the morning in Sacramento, is Keegan Murray. I told you 3 years ago, 2 years ago, you said he was a rookie. Okay. I wait till the next year. You said he will rise. And this is the third year we are waiting. And I see, Grant, you're not losing your patience for no reason. I mean, the guy has no energy. I don't know. He's gonna get it. I don't know. Maybe he will. But
I don't agree with you about that. He has no energy.
He can be a good shooter, but
Yeah, but
sometimes
that has not energy. That has nothing to do with energy.
Okay, I will only say like this. He can be a good shooter, but sometimes. And he can do the defense, but sometimes.
No, the defense is all the time. I'm not going to take that away from Keegan. He's got the most difficult matchup most nights, every night.
I'll tell you though, I will say this: if I could get a piece of the puzzle that would make this team a now team, and I had to trade Keegan, I would seriously do it. I would really think about it. I'm okay with that, to get that other piece that could make this team a top 4 team in the West. Because there are teams out there that covet Keegan, and I would roll the dice on that, because I think this team, even though I don't want to contradict myself saying I need 20 to 25 games, this team has limitations that will keep them away from the top bracket in the West. I firmly believe that. They're just not there.
And Grant, it's right at the crossroads of the right time if you were theoretically going to do it, because he's still on the rise as a player, but you still have him for basically a year and a half on a rookie contract.
Yes.
I agree that Keegan is playing the defense. I know he's playing the defense all the time, but if you take how fast he can move from player to player. I mean, sometimes you play defense, you're not match up only with your guy. You must help to another. You must switch to another side. So he's not that fast, if you ask me, for that kind of defense, because you have a lot of defenses in one game. You're not only supposed to guard your player, and that's it. That's all. If you can stop him, your task is over. I mean, there is
bottom line. This was a team effort loss tonight. This was a Sacramento Kings team that lost. It wasn't on Keegan Murray. It wasn't on Fox. It wasn't on DeRozan. It was the whole team. The whole team stunk
we can
other than Sabonis. I didn't think Sabonis was that bad tonight. I mean, he did what he normally does. He made a high amount of shots. He rebounded in double digits.
12.
He passed the ball. I have no problem with Sabonis. I really don't.
Yeah, I actually don't have a huge problem with DeRozan either. 6 assists, 5 of 12. Maybe you want him to get to the free throw line a little bit more. But hey, we do have to give credit to Jeff Van Gundy. What he's doing with the Clippers defense. They're in the top 6 in the NBA in defensive rating. So it's not a
Jeff Van Gundy is crucial for that. If he's gonna get this defense to work great, Clippers can be a real surprise this year.
And he's doing it without Kawhi Leonard too. That's the crazy part.
Yeah. Thank you, Baki. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Baki.
All right. Take care. Have a good day over there in Belgrade. Hey, don't forget about your weekend brunch. That's right, at Bennett's, the West Side Grill, or Roseville, or Sacramento. Their brunch is outstanding. Go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com to make a reservation. More. That's Bennett'sRestaurants.com. Prime seafood and steak at Bennett's. Get down there tomorrow and Sunday for their brunch. Again, Bennett'sRestaurants.com. Say hello to Brian and the folks, and let them know that you are a fan of us here on If You Don't Like That, and tell them that we said hello. And remember, if you have plumbing concerns, you need a repair, New Works Plumbing is there for you. They've got a fix for you. They are available around the clock. You just go to SacServicePlumbing.com or call the number on your screen. New Works Plumbing, they've got a fix for you. SacServicePlumbing.com. They have no fix for the Kings shooting, though.
No.
That cannot be repaired tonight. That was unrepairable. 107-98. It was a collective effort as the Kings shot a miserable, embarrassing 3 of 26 from downtown.
Yep, got crushed on the boards too. They did not get enough second chance opportunities, only 5, give up 12 on the night to the Clippers. We dish it to Zach. Zach, welcome in with Grant and Ryno.
Dougie is Vezi 2.0.
Dougie is who? 2.0?
Sasha.
Oh. Well, whatever he is, you can't help a team if you don't get into the game. I told you when the Kings signed Doug McDermott, I cautioned everyone. I kept on seeing all these messages online and everything. I'm like, stop it. Would you please? The guy was available a week before the season for a reason. He's a nice player to have on the bench. He's a guy that if you have to put in, you know he can play. He's not, but he is what he is. He's not a savior. He's not going to be the difference on whether the Kings are a good team or not a good team this year. He's not the difference.
Yeah, not a chance. Anybody thinking that,
They're
no.
delusional.
Yes. Exactly right. Exactly right. Well, the Kings got to bounce back, Grant. Like you said, this is going to be a tough stretch for him. Tough stretch.
I mean, Phoenix speaks for itself. Now they're due to lose a game. They're not going to go undefeated the rest of the year. So, but they know this is a big game too. And San Antonio is not going to be a picnic on the next night. So you better be ready to go. You better be ready to go on this trip, or you're going to get spanked.
Yep, Phoenix on a 7-game winning streak already this early into the season.
And looking really good in how they're doing it too. Tonight's game was a hell of a game against Dallas. That was a well-played game.
I agree with you. Royce O'Neal had a really nice game off the bench as well. You got Grayson Allen still sitting there for you. The question becomes health. We say it all the time with them, but anytime you got Devin Booker scoring and dishing the ball 12 times, it's a pretty damn good night.
Yep. All right. If you want to join us on the show, we're happy to have you. There's not a lot of positives to talk about. I got to tell you that. And again, if you have a rant idea for me, let me know. But again, the Kings' next 4 games, all right? Phoenix on the road, San Antonio on the road, home Phoenix, home Minnesota.
And remember, San Antonio played the Kings really tough. Both meetings last year. Both of those came down the wire. In fact, the first one in San Antonio, they were a big on the Kings early on in that game.
And the Spurs do not play the night before. The Spurs play 2 nights before. So, they'll be waiting at home for the Kings. And that Phoenix game, I got to think that it's going to be close. And I would think the players are going to have to play a lot of minutes to win the game. I'm talking about your starters once again. They're probably going to be up around 40 again.
And it's going to be at a high tempo too. Phoenix wants to get up and down the court with you, so it's going to be a barn burner. You got to maybe this is where you try to slide in a little bit of Jordan McLaughlin time if you can. You've got Colby Jones. He has, in my opinion, regressed in the offseason, so he's nowhere able or willing to get – I shouldn't say willing, ready to get minutes. The
Kings have no backup point guard again. It's the same story year after year after year.
You've been saying it for years, Grant. Look at what Tyus Jones has done in Phoenix, Grant.
Thank you. Yep. The one thing that's interesting about Phoenix is when I look at their record, they're 8-1. Their point differential is only 3.3.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a great point. It is very interesting.
I mean, their games are close.
They play close games, but that tells you that they're also a good team. That means that they are getting it done in close games, not like the Warriors last year where they came down to the wire and just couldn't get over the top. And then you've still got the Warriors lingering out there, Names.
Well, and here's the other thing that I keep harping on. Jerry Reynolds talks about the number 30. You got to win 30 games at home. You look at Phoenix, they're 5-0 at home.
Yeah.
You look at Oklahoma City, they're 4-0 at home. You look at Minnesota, 4-1 at home. Denver, 4 wins at home. Memphis, 4 wins at home. The Lakers undefeated at home. And then you get to the Kings, and they're 2-2 at home.
Yeah.
I know it's a small sample size, but when is this team going to start taking care of their home court?
It's bizarre. It's absolutely bizarre. I don't understand. That used to be a place of energy. That was a big advantage for the Kings, and other teams a disadvantage coming into that building. And I guess you got to give the fans something to cheer for. And the fans should not have to bring the Kings energy, Grant. The Kings need to bring the energy.
Thank you.
Period.
Thank you very much. You're absolutely correct. The fans, they're there at the beginning of the game. They give you the energy. Now you get them, give them something to get excited about. Get them going.
Grant,
they were players, right?
Grant, they were waiting to go off tonight. They were just waiting for the moment. It got close, and then just went away. You give up 3 straight triples in clutch time to the Clippers. Good night now. It's done.
All right. A Rant with Grant is brought to you by EDH Motors, Automotive Reimagined. You go to edhmotors.com. You can get all the information you need. This is a long overdue new concept. Just two people trying to do something different and better. David and Adam at EDH Motors are waiting for your call. They will help you with a new vehicle brokerage. They also offer vehicle consignments where they sell your vehicle for you. And of course, they can buy your car and they will sell pre-owned vehicles. Take delivery at their beautiful lounge in the El Dorado Hills Town Center. You don't have to go to a dealership. You're not dealing with high-pressured salespeople. You're not dealing with, the F&I office. Folks, it's a really awesome concept. When I went out to lunch about 2 months ago with Adam, I really got educated on what he and David are doing, and I'm like, wow, this is awesome. Check it out. Go to edhmotors.com. That's edhmotors.com. EDH Motors, Automotive Reimagined. All right, so this has nothing to do with basketball. I understand that officiating in pro sports is not an exact science. I don't expect perfection. I don't expect perfection in my athletes. Why should I expect perfection from my sports officials? Have you ever tried just going out and officiating any type of a game for fun? It is damn hard. It's not easy. And I know this is their job, and I know they're pros. But in the National Football League, how many games do we see completely affected by a non-call at the end of a game? It happens all the freaking time. Last night, right? Cincinnati, Baltimore. Cincinnati, under a minute to go, scores a touchdown. They elect to go for 2 to try to go up by a point. The conversion's no good. The replay clearly shows a Baltimore holding penalty and clearly shows a blow to the head. 2 calls, not made. Now, I don't know if Cincinnati scores on the second try when the ball's at the 1-yard line. Maybe they don't score. But why would we have to have a sport where it's so apparent and they don't have a mechanism to fix it? Why is it that we have all this technology and we don't have a mechanism to change blatant calls that are missed? That's what drives me freaking crazy. And the NFL officials, I'm sorry, you got to do better because this is happening way too damn much. And that's my rant for today.
Especially with the way blows to the head are called these days. You God. Touch a quarterback on the helmet, you're getting that call. It's a tough one. You agree with them going for 2?
I am, because the defense proved to me that they couldn't stop Baltimore, scored touchdowns on 4 consecutive drives. Why would I want to lose the game on a coin flip?
Yep, I completely agree with you. There was time on the clock still, too.
That's right.
Who's
and
to
you're
say
on the road. You're on the road. They would have had, 45 seconds left. Yep. Who knows? Maybe they get in field goal range, but you're on the road. Your defense has proven they can't stop the other team. So, yeah, I'm fine with that. Hey, let me ask you, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your confidence level with the Kings right now?
I'm probably at about a 6.5 to 7, Grant.
Wow, that's bad. That's a D. That's a D to a C minus,
Well, Grant, the 3 ball is such a big part of the NBA. It's huge. And this team, for being as good at the 3 as they have been over the past 3 seasons, for it to go back this bad, 27th in the NBA. Not only that, but the attempts. The attempts aren't bad. They shot under 30 attempts, but 6.57 as we sit. How about you?
I'm at about a 7.5. I'm about a 7.5.
I just don't know how I can put them the bench, Grant. You're depending so much on the starters. That's what's hard.
Yeah.
That's what's nearly impossible.
Here's what I do know. The Kings are what they are. They're 5-4, and they have 4 really challenging games coming up. And I right now would take 2-2 in these 4. You give me 2-2, I'll take it.
Yep.
Right?
Don't even get on the plane. Don't even get on the plane.
Yep.
You know what else? You know what else I'll take? Some of this new merch that just got released on the website.
Yeah, can I see it,
Yeah,
please?
yeah, you got to check this stuff out. And all of you, check this stuff out as well. Go to grantnapier.com, or if you don't like that.com, hit the shop tab. Check this out. And it will take you right here to the link. Click that link, and it takes you right into the brand new shop. We have got brand new merch that has dropped for this season, and there is a ton more coming as well. This is all the latest stuff up there. Super affordable, super comfortable. And we've got new items, as I said, coming. Grant, look at that good looking stuff. Your face is all over it, buddy.
I appreciate that. Go to if you don't like that.com or grantnapier.com, or if you don't like that.com, and get your merch. And there are more items that are going to be added as well here in the coming days. So thank you very much for your support.
Absolutely. And we got the QR code up right there too. If you would like to go straight to the merch site, just scan that QR code.
Love it, man. Thank you very much. Good stuff right there. Hey, I want to tell you about the newest residential community in Calusa. It's CalusaSunrise.com. All right. And Sunrise Landing is awesome. And I think you're going to love the models in Calusa. No Mellorews, no homeowners. And it's across from the Calusa Golf and Country Club. This is from Blazona Development, Sunrise Landing. Great access to I-5, Highway 45, Highway 20. Again, you go to CalusaSunrise.com. You'll get all the information checking out Sunrise Landing. Just a really poor performance. I guess I should say poor shooting performance. It's just frustrating when you see a team miss so many open shots.
Wide open. Keegan had him. Trey had him. Yeah, it's the trend that we have to keep our closest eye on at this point. That and the starters' minutes. You've been all over that point of it this season so far too.
Yeah, well, that's going to have to be fixed, and I think Monty McNair is going to have to get on the phones here real soon and try to solidify this bench, because he's not stupid. He sees that this is a real problem.
So great. Take me into that in an organization. What's that relationship like when you're at a crossroads? And I don't want to call it a crossroads yet, but if you're Coach Brown and you're saying, I don't got much to work with, what's that collaboration like with the GM?
Well, you have a meddling owner who thinks he knows more than the general manager and the coach. So that's a problem right there. You have a meddling owner who will step in at the last minute when a trade's already been decided upon and say, now we need more time, and then the trade falls apart. So you're dealing with a third dynamic, which is a pain in the ass for a general manager. Listen, these are very good basketball minds. Mike Brown has been in the game a long time. Monty McNair has been in the game a long time. They both see the same thing. It's not like they have a difference of opinion. They both know that the bench is a problem.
Yeah.
And it's not Mike Brown's job. It's Monty McNair's job if it requires different personnel. Mike Brown can only coach the players that he has. Now, maybe you could say the coaching staff needs to do a better job in developing a bench. You can say whatever you want. I deal in reality. The reality is this is a production-based league, and the bench is not producing right now. And then that falls on Monty McNair to get better players.
And you really don't have much of a commitment to the bench right now. Let's take Devin Carter out of it. He's on a brand new rookie contract. This is the last year of Trey Lyles' contract.
Yeah.
McLaughlin, he's on a 1 year. Keon's got an option with the team next year. Colby is man, they are at a little bit of a crossroads there. They do not have a long-term commitment to any of them.
Appreciate the message from the South Bronx. And let me get that other one up. The messages are going so quick. I put the wrong one up. Here we go. Yeah, we like that. People from around the country. I saw we had someone watching earlier from Australia. Got the South Bronx.
Love it.
Yes. All right. Here's the other one. The issue is we paid Malik too much before we got DeMar. That's not an issue at all. That's nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. That has nothing to do with the games going on right now.
Wait.
So.
Yeah, and when you re-sign your own free agent, it doesn't go against your cap. So
it's not why the Kings lost tonight. It's not the reason why they're 5-4. It has nothing to do with anything.
Malik can play better. I think at this point, too, if I'm Mike Brown, and I've said it about Sabonis, you've got to tinker with the rotation. at this point. You can play the same rotation, but tinker with the timing of it. See if you can get different combinations that give you different changes and different looks, because it's automatic right now. Key on Malik, and then usually Trey, then maybe Alex, so on and so forth.
Very disappointing post-game show, folks. I don't know what else to say. To you, Ryan, we pretty much have covered everything. We still invite calls. If you want to call, you're more than welcome to call the show, but I don't really have anything else to say. It was a miserable shooting performance. I don't think it's anything more than just one of those things. I think, yes, the three-point shooting's not been great, but it hasn't been like tonight. They need to figure out a way to play better in the next couple of games.
Agreed. Hey, Bobo, if you want to come on the show, come on camera. Show your face, Bobo, because I think your sister Peaches called last show. Same last name. So we'll take your call if we can see your face. If not, no call, Bobo.
No call. All right. Well, why don't we just wrap it up anyway? I don't have anything. Do you have anything else to add? It was a bad game. It's a loss at home, 2-2 at home, 5-4 on the year. And you got the hottest team in the NBA in the West. They're not hotter than Cleveland, but you got the hottest team in the West that you're playing next.
No, I think I stand by what I said. The foundation is there. You got to start hitting some shots, and you got to get something out of Trey Lyles, Grant. Got it.
Appreciate everyone. Thank you very much. Don't forget the Kings and the Suns, Ryan with the pregame, halftime at Jerry, postgame show. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. Thank you so much for being right here on If You Don't Like That. Beam's not lit tonight. Not going to be lit at least for 2 more nights. Bye-bye now.